Get to your dealer now for the Power and Performance Sales Event. Get up to 7 years of Yamaha warranty protection free. Or earn up to $200 in dealer credit. Yamaha Power and Performance has never been a better value.
Hey, on this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we're going to have some more striper codfish reports. Jenni's going to go around the Edison show, seeing what everybody's throwing for stripers this spring. We're going to have a potential update on the fluke regulations, something going on in the pipeline, more on that. And we're going to have a clamming tutorial.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Hey, today's March 21st. It's officially spring. Yeah, it's that time of the year. We're in Lindenhurst at Marine Mate. They got some great deals going on here right before the boating season kicks off. Got marine paint, anything you could think of that you're going to need for the boating season. Some great deals. Get in on it early. Their deals are going on this Saturday. It's going to start. And just get in on it if you're a boater. But let's get into the fishing news. I got some word of potential fluke regulations. Now, it's not official yet, but these were proposed by the ASMFC board. Now, the regulations, the ones that are proposed are going to call for a 28% reduction, which would meet the criteria. It's going to be from May 4th to August 1st. That'll be 3 fish at 19-inch minimum. Then August 2nd to October 15th, 3 fish goes up to 19.5 inches. These are not official yet, but they will be proposed, and it's a good chance that they might go through. More to come with that in the upcoming weeks.
The Babylon Fisherman's Flea Market is now better than ever in its new location, the American Legion, 22 Grove Place, Babylon. Save the date, Sunday, March 24th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Over 50 tables with new and used fishing gear. Get all your fishing questions answered by the Pro Roundtable, streaming live on Facebook. Get all the details at fishermanfleamarket.com.
Let's head on over to Jenni. She was up in Edison last week. She's going to interview anglers about their favorite spring striper lure.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Open Boat, episode 40. We're at the Edison Saltwater Expo, and we have our first guest on the spring run lures. So introduce yourself here and what you got.
Hi Jenny, my name is Tom. I'm from Ewing, New Jersey, and these are some of the lures that we use for trolling stripers in the tributaries.
Okay, so what do you got? You got
I got a bottlenose and a Rapala Super Shad Wrap. I've taken my biggest striper to date, 40 pounds on this last year.
There you go.
And we've taken a number of 30, 35 pounders on both of these lures.
Can't beat that. All right, we got another open boater here that wants to share his intel on his favorite spring run lure.
My name's Rich, and my favorite springtime lure of all time is the dock or a spook.
Familiar face here if you watched the worm ball video. We were at the tackle box booth with Dan Stahl. Now Dan's going to tell us his favorite spring run lure.
The Monomoy spook.
Oh boy, got one at the tackle box.
Yeah, get one today.
All right, now we found a Wild Scott. We're going to ask him what his favorite spring run lure is.
Oh, that would probably be the Ozuri McDarter.
It's in fact tattooed on his body.
That may be true.
All right, now we're with local legend Pedro. Pedro, what's your favorite spring run lure?
So my favorite lure for spring run striper fishing in the back bay and surf is probably going to be the 4-inch Tsunami Shads. These are the heavy version, but my favorite color is a pearl spot, just because in the spring now, you know, you're going to be fishing in the back bays. It's still, the water temperatures are still a little cold, so you're going to be throwing small baits and small lures. So definitely the 4-inch shad is going to be a winner. You know, later in the season I'll be throwing the 5, 6, and 7 inches, but it's going to definitely be the Tsunami Swim Shad. That's my old
winner chicken dinner. Thank you, Pedro. Now we're with Justin Time. Justin, your favorite spring run lure?
It's got to be a popper, because watching a striper hit topwater is the best thing around.
Can't beat that. All right, next up I found some more local surf rots.
Brett of Shamong.
I'm Dale from Browns Mills.
What lures are you guys throwing this spring run? Top spring run lures?
5-inch bone mag darter all day.
Black and purple mega shads, baby. Come on.
There you go. Another open boater here at the booth.
Hi, my name is Mike Garcia, and my favorite springtime striper lure is the Tidal Pro Tsunami Tidal Pro.
We got local legend Captain Eric Gerber of On a Mission Fishing Adventures, and he's going to spill the beans on his favorite spring run lure.
The Chug Norris from Nomad.
Oh yeah. I got a current fisherman right here. He's talking about his favorite spring run lure.
Hi, my name is Lucas, and my favorite lure is very hydro minnow.
Can't beat a Yozuri hydro minnow. Watch out for this little Lucas out here on the surf. He's already crushing stripers, right?
Yep.
Next up we got Sam here.
Hi, my name is Sam, and I like to use no live bait needed for stripers in the spring.
Next up, short catch charters here. We got Elio.
Hi, my name is Elio. My favorite spring run lure would be a big metal lip plug.
We got
Ryan, and my favorite lure is Missouri hydro minnow.
Another big fan of the hydro minnow, slaying fish out here on them.
Thank you.
All right, now we're here with Thomas, master rod builder at eFishing Custom Rods, and your favorite spring run lure is?
NLBN paddle tail.
That's been a hot one this open boat run through, and we're gonna go get some more, so let's go. Now we got Rosetto Stone here.
How you doing? I'm Dan Rosetto.
What's your favorite spring run lure?
I like using flutter swimmers on the bay. It's fun.
Eddie Brown from Just Saying.
Favorite spring bass lure?
Favorite spring bass lure, definitely be the Dock.
Now we got another legend, Captain Chuck with the timing. What's your favorite spring run lure?
Definitely my favorite spring run lure is a live eel.
Whether it be this time of the year, the summer, the spring, the fall, whatever it may be, it's a great time of year to go clamming. Check out this video we shot. Hey, so we're out here on the Great South Bay, South Shore, Long Island. I'm literally standing in the bay. I actually took my little skiff over to this location. Clamming is a great activity, summer, winter, spring, fall, whatever it may be. You can get some fresh dinner. It's a great workout. It's really something that I suggest everybody try and do. There's a lot of spots you can try from the shore, but if you do have a little skiff, it'll extend your opportunities, give you more access to great clamming spots. We're gonna do some clamming today. So one of the most important things before you go clamming to get is your clam rake. This here is a KB White. It's an 11-tooth rake. This is your standard recreational rake. It's got about 3 or 4 inch teeth on it, which are plenty long enough to get those clams right out of the bottom. Has a little bit of a holding capacity as well. It's real easy to use. You got a wooden handle on it also. Get some leverage. This is the standard rake that you will be using to dig clams when you get off the boat or you're going from the shore. So being that the water is a little colder, it's a colder time of the year, I got myself a pair of insulated gloves. You don't want to get your hands wet and cold this time of the year. It's going to get you right out of the water. You're going to stop clamming. You're going to want to go home. So having a nice pair of insulated gloves is really important. Aside from that, I have a nice pair of waders on. These are the Frog Tug Hellbender waders. Having these and the gloves, especially during the colder months, is important. During the summer, you can get away with the bathing suit, no gloves, have a good time, that's totally fine. But we are in a colder time of the year, so having your waders and your gloves is crucial. So before you go clamming, you have to know your local and your town state regulations. For New York State, there are regulations in effect. That is possession limits, that's size limits. Go on your NYSDEC website to get those regulations. There's also areas that are shut down during the winter months of the year or open up during the winter months of the year. So you want to keep track of that information as well. They have a nice, easy map you could use. You could check that out. Take a look at what's open and what's not open certain times of the year. Know where you're allowed to clam before you go out there because you don't want to get a ticket. Certain towns, they have their regulations as well. Certain towns require clamming permits. In my town of Brookhaven, we do not require a recreational clamming permit, but certain towns do, and in certain waters, you're also not allowed to clam if you're a non-resident. Be mindful of this, and if you do decide to go clamming in a certain location, do your research beforehand so you don't get in trouble with the law. So clamming is a little bit of a feel and a sound thing. You're going to feel the clams when you feel a little resistance on your rake, but you're also going to hear the clams scratching on the tines of your rake. It's kind of like scratching on a blackboard, if you will. You can hear them scratch on those shells. I'm working this clam. I can feel one right there. I dug that one up, popped it out. It's a little bit of both. It's a touch kind of thing. And once you get the feel of it, then you're going to really master clamming. You could try mud bottom. I don't like to clam in the grass or anything like that. So I'd like to stick to a sand bottom or more of a mud bottom for my best results. Now, if you are recreational clamming, you have to know that there is a limit in effect. If you're on a good spot, you could fill that limit rather quickly. The limit is 100 clams for the state of New York per person per day. You don't want to go over that limit. You want to stay under that limit or even well under it. Just take what you need for dinner. Don't go be excessive about it. Definitely adhere by that rule. Follow your limits for clamming. So the technique is pretty simple, to be honest. You're going to use your leverage with your pole, the rake head and the teeth on the rake to feel for the clams in the bottom. It's kind of like raking leaves in the yard in a way, except it's a little bit more aggressive. It's going to be a little bit more intense. So what I'm going to do is I'm holding the pole like this, one hand down here, one hand up here for leverage, and I'm kind of skimming along the bottom. There's a couple clams right there. I'm feeling them. Oh, there's one. I'm going to go back on it. There's another one. If you miss one, you can go back on it. That's the one beauty of clamming like this, is you're not going to really miss any. You can just go right back to it. And you kind of just want to rake the bottom a bit. You feel a clam, you pry it out, you get a little deeper. You can get those teeth really in there. Pry that clam out. Just move it along. When you think you got a few in there, shake it out. There's three right there. Little neck, top neck, cherry stone. Nice variety. So as you know, there's a bunch of different sized clams. I got 4 different sizes right here. Each of them great for a different type of meal, and that's what we're intending to do, is eat these clams. So I'm gonna go over them with you. Starting with the biggest clam, we have our chowder clam, and as the name is in itself, we use these for chowders. We also use them for baked clams. Moving to my right here, we have a cherry stone clam. It's a little bit smaller. Again, you could use these in chowder, clams casino, baked clams. These are another great size clams, very popular size. They're a little less chewy than the bigger chowder clams. Top neck, very desirable clam. You could eat them raw in the half shell. You can make them into clams casino, baked clams. Again, this is a top neck size. It's one below the cherry stone. And sometimes people really prize these clams is the little neck clam. This is the smallest legal size clam that you can actually keep. These are great raw in the half shell. They have the best flavor in my opinion. I use them in the pasta with the linguine. I make these as well. It's delicious. Probably gonna make some of those when I get home today. These are the primo clam. A lot of people desire these, but do remember when you are clamming that you have to abide by regulations. So you have to measure your clams this way to this way. It has to be at least 1 inch between the hinges like that. If it's under 1 inch, that clam has to go back in the water. So for example, this clam right here, this is undersized. So we're gonna put that back in the water because it's gonna grow to a legal size clam at one point. If you're striking out in one spot, say for a sandy bottom, would be a good idea to try a soft bottom. So I'm making a change right now from the sand bottom to where the soft bottom transitions. And I came across a nice little pile of clams right here. Sometimes they stack up in these little areas where the transition is, and you can really, really do very well if you find them. "12 months out of the year, clamming is a great activity. You just gotta be prepared for it. If it's cold, dress accordingly. If it's warm, dress accordingly. Go out there, have some fun, dig yourself some dinner, get a workout, go clamming. Gotta love clamming, and even more, gotta love clam recipes. You gotta check out this clam casino recipe coming next week. But next we have some of the events coming up for the time being. This Sunday the 24th, the Fisherman's Flea Market. It's from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's an early one. Early bird gets the worm, so hop in on that one. Go over 40 tables of fishing stuff. Then again on April 7th, another Fisherman's Flea Market, more Central Island. We're gonna be in Port Jeff. Then the Belmont Spring Fishing Festival. That's on April 13th. It's a great event for the kids. That's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Lots of trout going in the lake for that one. Gotta check that one out as well. For more information on all of these, go to thefisherman.com/events.
The first ever Port Jefferson Flea Market is Sunday, April 7th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Port Jefferson Moose Lodge, 37 Crystal Brook Hollow Road, Mount Sinai. Over 50 tables with new and used fishing gear. Get your fishing questions answered by the Pro Roundtable. Get all the details at PortJeffersonFishingFleaMarket.com.
Subscribe to the Fisherman magazine or renew at one of the upcoming shows. When you renew or subscribe for $30, you get a $20 gift card for Surehold products and a Tsunami 4-inch iPro Pop Popper, and you're automatically eligible to enter into the Dreamboat contest. It is a great offer. All right, let's head over to the map. I'll let you know the current reports. From the Viking, Captain JR reported a less than exciting trip on the Viking Star on their Nantucket trip. They had a better one early in the season. The wrecks were definitely not as good as their last trip. They did have a pick of cod and pollock on all their drops. The first place winner was Robert DeVoe from Boston with a 10-pound cod, and the eligible pool winner was Walter Lemanowski from Lindenhurst, New York with a 9-pound pollock. Now, Captain Joe on the King Cod, he said that they went on a capture. They had fair weather and fishing. They set sail at 2 a.m. with a very light crowd of anglers last week. They had a pick of cod, some nice fish up to 16 pounds, bunch of shorts, some throwback blackfish. Remember, that opens April 1st, so be ready for that. Their next trip is scheduled for Friday the 22nd. Then over at J&J Sports in Patchogue, Pablo, he chatted with me, said the lakes, they're becoming alive in the well. A lot of species going on. He said some of the custards are playing catch and release with the pickerel and largemouth in Patchogue Lake, while Westlake has a very nice pick of the browns from the last stocking. He is expecting those 2-year-olds to go in any day now from the DEC. He did also mention that they do have live shiners in stock, which were great for the pickerel and the largemouth bass. Mike at Saltwater's Tackle and West Islip, he did not hear of any local stripers, but he did hear that some of the casters went to Little Neck and had bass earlier in the week. He did say that the small swing plugs were the ticket, mag darters, SP minnows, bombers. They were great for these early season fish. He also did say that some of the white perch fishermen were out last week as well. They were doing okay on the Connie with whole night crawlers fished on jig heads. Moving over to Capital Tackle, Freeport. He said the North Shore of the island had some striper activity last week. He said most of that was from the western end, as we said, near Little Neck Bay. Also heard of some tilefish trips on the horizon from the Captain Lou fleet. The LI Outdoorsman in Rockville Center said some small stripers have been filtering into Jamaica Bay. Soft plastics have been the key. Those 4-inch baits have been really the size to use. Reports on cod and pollock on some of the deeper wrecks have also been coming through the shop. Shop's ready for the season. They're getting their bloodworms next week for stripers also. Hey, Will Nash sent me this photo of a largemouth bass caught from an eastern lake on Long Island on a rooster tail. They're starting to wake up. Dylan Jewell, he sent me this photo of a striper from the West End Surf. He took this one on a Yozuri mag darter swimmer. If you do have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I'll try and get that photo into the weekly video forecast or an upcoming issue of the magazine. Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Well, greetings, everybody from Montauk. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody that stopped by the Fly Fishing Expo on Saturday. It was nice to see a bunch of people. Appreciate everybody coming by and saying hello and acknowledging the report. It makes me feel like a bunch of people watching. Regarding the fishing, the Viking did their Nantucket wreck trip. It wasn't as good as the last one, but they still picked away at some codfish and caught a bunch of hake and stuff like that. They have just announced all of their spring trips. They're doing more Nantucket wreck trips and a couple other. They're going to start doing some black fishing in April. And then their spring porgy starts in Sag Harbor on May 1st. So check out their website. That'll give you an idea on what's up and coming for the Viking. As everybody knows, the weather's getting good. We're starting to see ospreys. There's plenty of bait around. So we should be getting some bass reports here within a week or so, hopefully. All right, everybody. Until then, have a good week.
From Northport, the Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle report.
Hey, this week's report is basically it's kind of like what it was last week, although it seems like we started out a little warm and it's getting colder. So I'd focus more on the back of the areas. If you're Nesquag River, Stony Brook area, we've got Northport, Huntington, Lloyd Harbor, back Cold Spring Harbor, Oyster Bay. All these areas are going to have a lot of hard structure, rocks, darker mussel beds, muddy grounds, springs that are going to be flowing water that's usually like a constant 50s, low 50s coming out, and it's hitting the water that we have in the back right now, which is reading low 40s. I'm seeing a lot of shrimp. And so different days you've got fish biting. We definitely have some fish around. They're the resident ones. Then when they're waking up, and I think they're just coming out of these holes very slow, still lethargic. And if you can play it right, some lures, you got worms out there, clams are working, bunker chunks. But for the most part, I think that we're doing a lot of artificials because it's just like an exploratory search right now. We're still in March. We're coming into April. And judging by the way things are along these bulkheads, if you see in a lot of the harbors, and I'm in most of the harbors around doing stuff, it's like the bait, I have not seen spearing. Just the other night, it seemed like a big burst of smaller bait fish. So I don't know if that could be peanut bunker or some adult bunker filtering in. It's very sparse right now. The only big baits I see right now are going to be on those shrimp. And again, like if you're over in the Westchester area, Connecticut, along here on the North Shore, I can't imagine it's going to be any different. Go in along those structures, marina areas, eelgrass, and look for those shrimp in the evening. A lot of these bass, they're going to come back and they're going to be in slurping mode because the shrimp, they're really small, but they're solid protein, and these fish, they want something easy because they're still waking up to eat. So this is a great time to go out and do the bass. I like fishing this time of the year in the sun. Sun's been pretty good. Or just go out and hit it up in the evening. The evening's been slower, but there's still some fish around the evening locally. Trout right now with the freshwater scene is picking up. The water still kind of on the cold side, but it's warming up with some of these days we got going on. Now this week, I think temperatures are dropping down into the 40s. So I would imagine maybe some of the lakes on the sunny days are going to like really be a great little bite. Keep your eye out again for the trout stocking, and go out, have a great time. Hey, until next week, I bid you all peace and tight lines.
With the Fly in Freshwater Report, we do have Paul McCain.
Hello, Matt. Well, I want to thank everybody that came out to the Fly Fishing Expo of Long Island. It was a great day. We had a good turnout. It was a beautiful day, a lot of great presentations, and the positive response I got is just, well, we got to plan it again for next year. If you didn't make it this year, hopefully you'll come next year. Now, as far as fishing goes, I've been hearing a lot of things about stripers of moving into these back bays on warmer days. Unfortunately, we just got a cold snap. Today is in a high of like 42. But what that did was that actually shut everything down briefly. I mean, spring is going to be here soon enough. So it's gonna get better and better. And everybody's asking, what's the best tide to fish on? I prefer at this time of year, fish high tide in the afternoon. That means it's a low tide around 12, 1 o'clock, and that sun is baking that mud, warming up that river, the water, warms it up, and it gets the little bait fish and the worms and the shrimp moving, and that brings the stripers right in. It's been good. It's going to be good. Look for the western bays first. As far as freshwater goes, well, I just got back from guiding. I took him out. Now, Michael knows how to fish. He knows how to cast, but he never really fished at the Connect Quad. So he wanted a few pointers, which was great. We caught it because of this cold snap. It actually shut everything down. I mean, the fish were really picky. There's plenty of them there. We saw plenty of them, but they were just hanging on the bottom. But by changing tactics and flies, we were able to put 5 fish into our hands. We had others on. Hey, long line release. This is really going to be a great week. It's warming up. We're going to get some rain this coming weekend, so we'll see what happens. But, hey, it's spring. Let's get out there while we can. Tie lines, everybody.
Let's check on in with Chris Landry.
Thanks, Matt. There's been a lot of sailfish in and around Miami. Like 6 weeks ago, there was a report of about 300 sailfish caught in one day between Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and the Keys. Well, we went out today and we were lucky enough to catch a giant sailfish. We caught it on live goggle eyes on 30-pound test. It was really a miracle that we got this fish. So there are a lot of sailfish in and around Miami. Blackfin tuna out, in 400, 500 feet of water. There's a lot of blackfin tuna and bonita. A lot of species to be caught everywhere in Miami, including giant gator bluefish. Kid Cochise has been catching some big bluefish in Florida. I caught a big bluefish off of South Beach, so they're here, but I'm sure they're heading up north, all right, to meet us and the stripers very soon. I can't wait to get back out. April 1st, we're putting the boat back in the water. Start doing charters April 4th for striped bass. I can't wait. Until then, I'm down here in Miami catching sailfish and tuna and lots of other species. All right, so see you all soon. Peace, and back to you, Matt.
Marine Made of Lindenhurst is holding their annual spring sale March 23rd through April 6th. Bottom paint from $79 per gallon. Save big on engine parts, outboard oil, cleaners, waxes, and more. Daily raffles and your chance to win big prizes. Visit marinemade.com for all the details.
Let's head on over to Max Finch from the Connecticut side of the Western Sound.
This past week, we've seen some bass caught on our beaches and our local harbors and estuaries. The bass are really starting to get active in our local waters, and it just should continue to get better as we move into April. It's not just the Housatonic anymore. I've seen bass caught, Calf Pasture Beach, Sherwood Island, the Norwalk Harbor, and way back up Norwalk River towards Wall Street. These fish were keyed in on herring. The herring fishing this past week has been spotty, but everybody's waiting for the, the arrival of the springtime herring like bluebacks and alewives. This should really heat up the local rivers, and I've had some pretty good bites at the Housatonic in the past years if we get a really good run of springtime herring. Guys are still concentrating on the Housatonic at night for your bigger fish. This time of year you get fish way up towards the dam, Sullivan's, stuff like SP minnows, soft plastics like paddle tails work really good. You can up your offering too because herring are pretty decent size. And then our local rivers and streams are fishing well. The state's doing a good job stocking. And then, you still catch and release right now. Starting in April, you're allowed to harvest your trout. You just got to follow your local rules and regulations. Thanks and good luck.
Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we do post a new video on YouTube. Please support the correspondents. Check out their pages as well and give them a like and follow also. Don't forget this video is available as a podcast on iTunes and Google Music. Search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast and other content.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
The lakes are pretty much getting stocked right now. There's a lot of fishing on the horizon. There's a show this weekend. That's the Fisherman's Flea Market. But hey, get down here to Lindenhurst Marine Mates. They're having a great special on boating stuff. Check them out. That's Saturday as well. See you next week.